Hello everyone. I would like to show you a program that I made in the last couple of weeks, which is called Agent CLI. It's completely open source and on GitHub. It is a collection of local first AI-powered command line tools that run entirely on your machine, which means that you can feed all of your private data to it because nothing goes to the cloud, and it even works offline. So let me do a quick demo of how I use this day to day. I spend a lot of time on my computer typing on my keyboard, either talk to somebody on Slack, somebody online, or talking with an LLM. Now, instead of typing, I just speak. So what I do is I hit a key on my keyboard, which I do now. Now it starts listening, and then I say whatever I want to say. And when I'm done talking, I hit the same key again. And there it is. And now I wait a second, and then the result, whatever I was saying, pops up over here. But not only is it a notification, I can just go to anywhere on my operating system and I hit paste, so Control V, and there is whatever I said. Not only does it add punctuation and capitalization, it also removes tiny mistakes from your sentence. For example, I saw a car that was blue, I mean red. And now when I stop transcribing, it says I saw a car that was red. So Agent CLI itself is just a normal Python program that is very easy to install. However, it interfaces with a lot of AI model providers or services. So for example, it needs to have access to something that can provide an LLM or a large language model, something that can do automatic speech recognition, something that can do text-to-speech, and something that can detect wake words. So in principle, you can imagine that this would be quite a hassle to install all by yourself. However, I provide a script that is just a single line. If you run that, everything will be set up and ready to go. So let me show you a couple of its functionalities. So I can just run Agent CLI in a terminal, and I will see all of the subcommands that it has. I already showed you the transcribe one, but just to go into a little bit more detail. So if I just run Agent CLI transcribe, it says listening on my microphone with this name, listening for some time, and then when I hit Control C, it stopped listening, and then here's my transcription. Now you notice here there's no punctuation, there's no capitalization, nothing. So what I can then also do is, this was just straight out of the text or speech-to-text model. I can also make it send that result to an LLM. We can do that by passing the LLM flag. So now when I start speaking, it takes the raw transcript and it sends it over to an LLM, which has a system prompt about it being an expert in transcribing text, correcting tiny mistakes, and I even have a little configuration file where you can add frequently said words, such that it will know how to spell certain things and with which conventions. So now I stopped it. So here we see the raw transcript. It sent it over to an LLM, and that one added like all the commas and made sense out of it. Now let me show you another one, which is the voice edit command. That one takes the content of your clipboard and then allows you to edit either that content or answer a question about that content, or ignore the content altogether and just answer a question and put the result back into your clipboard. So let me first get something in my clipboard. What is the capital of France? So I just used the shortcut, and now it's over here. So I have this thing, or I have it in my clipboard. Now I can trigger the voice edit, and then I would say remove the markdown formatting and add a emoji of the French flag. So now it pastes this back. Now when I hit it again, I can, for example, say answer this question. And then it just says the capital of France is Paris. So you can imagine you just see a question on the internet, you select the text, you copy it, you hit the key, you ask, what is this? Or answer this, or rephrase this into something more professional, or make it more funny, friendly, whatever you want. Then there is also the chat tool, and that one just starts listening right away and can actually speak back if I tell it to. So I can tell it text-to-speech, then I can also specify which provider I want, maybe some specific voice that I want, so let me do that. So how are you doing? that doesn't make sense to ask an LLM, of course. But so then.
Hello, I'm functioning well, thank you. Is there something specific you'd like to do or talk about?
So I can cancel that. It will just start listening again. I can make it do something. So for example, this one is allowed to execute commands on my machine. You can ask like list all the files or do whatever, but actually just tell me a joke. And so you can see it is actually quite fast.
What kind of joke would you like to hear? A funny one, a pun, or something specific?
Okay, actually, I don't want to hear anything. Okay, finally, I want to show you the assistant tool. This one is very similar to the chat tool. However, it's not continuously listening. It is listening for a certain type of wake word, and when I say the wake word, it will start recording. And then when I say the wake word again, it will stop recording and then answer me. And then because I provided the text-to-speech argument here, it will tell me the answer in speech. So when I say, okay, Nabu, why is the sky blue? Okay, Nabu. So then it stopped recording. Now it's applying the instructions, and now it will tell me why the sky is blue.
The sky appears blue due to a process called Rayleigh scattering,
Okay.
as sunlight reaches Earth's atmosphere.
We all know that. So if you want to try out Agent CLI yourself, you can install it. So let's just do it. I'll follow the instructions for macOS. So if we go to the repository, what we have to do is we have to clone down the repository. So we just copy this URL, go to the terminal, we say git clone the URL, and we cd into it, Agent CLI. And now we only need to run a couple of scripts. And actually this is also explained in the README here. So there are installation instructions for every platform. So there's macOS, Linux, specific one for NixOS, and also if you want to use Docker. We're going to be following the macOS one. So to set up all of the services, we run this one command. We just say script setup Mac. If everything's already installed, it will just proceed very quickly, which is the case for me. Otherwise, it will set up all of the services for you. Then we can run script start all services. When we do that, it opens this terminal multiplexer called Zelish with a little help screen. Here it says, okay, we can get rid of this help screen by clicking Q. We can get out of this by clicking Ctrl-O-D. But let's just first look at what it's running. So here we see it's running Olama. Here it's running Whisper. There it's running Piper, and here it's running Open Wake Word. So all of that seems good. So now we hit Ctrl-O-D. So now it's just running on the background, and it will even be running here if you close your terminal. However, every time you start up your machine, you need to run this once. And so now we can run the Agent CLI commands. Now it's just transcribing. Right, so that works. However, the hotkeys are still not working. So for that, we need to run one other script. And that one is not in here. The script is setup macOS hotkeys. This downloads a couple of programs, installs them, and if you do this for the very first time, here it succeeded. There's a notification over here. But if you do this for the first time, your system settings will pop up asking you to give permission, specifically notification permission and accessibility permission for either the service that does the notifications and the other one for the daemon that listens to your hotkeys. But once this is done, now I can just click Command-Shift-R, and there we see it is listening. When we click it again, and then we get the result. You see? And that's it. Let me know if you have any problems, or if you have comments or new ideas. Just reach out to me.